Hello friend, welcome back to my channel. This is Teresa from untilnextwrite.blogspot.com, and today I wanted to show you the two Project Life kits that I purchased. One at Michael's. I bought this at Michael's. This was the Trinkets collection by Becky Higgins. Not focusing, that's alright. Oh, there we go. And then I got this at Joann's. No, wait, never mind. I got this also at Michael's, but this is the Good Times, collection, also by Becky Higgins. So let's just get to it. As you all know, the gold foil is all the rage right now, and there's actually that mink collection at Joann's that, you know, you have the actual machine that can make things all pretty and gold foiled. So I was thinking about that, but you know, the machine itself is like $160, and I'm really not quite there yet in making my own things. But at this point in my crafty life, I appreciate things that are that look homemade or handmade, and eventually I'll get to that point where I can make my own things, but I'm not quite there yet to where I can purchase or justify a purchase for the mink machine. But that's neither here nor there. Let's just get started with some of the 4x3s. This is so pretty. So this is like a green watercolor with gold. These are all one-sided, so don't forget that. But so here's the sweet. Here's Rewind with pink background and green graph lines. Lucky Us. Pretty is that? And then you have like a kind of a graph paper as well with gold lining. Key to My Heart. Oh. So I have boys. I have two boys, a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. And yes, I know they're boys. So what the heck am I doing buying all this girly Project Life stuff? Well, I am a girl, obviously. And so they're just going to have to put up with really pretty stuff in their albums. Honestly, I mean, it's very boyish right now what I have in their albums. And I just think that, you know, gold is for everybody. Everybody loves gold. And especially with the trend towards gold nowadays, I feel like, oh, look, the spade. I feel like, you know, someone's going to appreciate it. My sons are going to appreciate it. My sons' girlfriends and eventual wives will appreciate it. And, you know, gold is very timeless. And so that's just my thing. So that's why I don't mind having very girly layouts for my boys, because it'll all make sense in the long run, right? So that's the first set of the, well, those are the only 4x3s actually. And then you have the 4x6s. Oh gosh, let me just take it out here. So tick for tack, this Trinkets set is more expensive than the normal lines that they have, but it's, you know, because of the gold foil. So, Live Happy, another Live Happy. And then you have the graph here with kind of a, you know, pink and then a little bit of, it's even gold detailing right there. I think it's just so well thought out. You have a feather, So my family and I, well, I don't actually dance it, but our hula group also does Maori dancing, and so Maori from New Zealand. My husband is very much into it. Oh my goodness, when he dances Maori, it's like, I swear he was Maori in another life, because it's just that intense. Let's just put it that way. But the feather reminds me of that, so I could probably use this for one of the pictures that I take of him dancing. And so here's just a simple gold and white foil there, and then a remember. Oh my gosh, so pretty. I love it. And oh, let's see here. I'm just gonna have so much fun using this stuff. So in my other video, I mentioned that I am going to be putting myself on a no spend, and this no spend is going to be for the foreseeable future, because I basically bought just about everything that I could ever possibly want as far as what's at the Target dollar spot. Things that, pattern paper that I can use to make dashboards and all that good stuff. So I am good to go with all the things that I could possibly need to keep my crafty life nice and healthy. And then along the lines of being healthy in general, I am going to be starting the 21-day fix just for myself. You know what I mean? I really feel like, since I'm going to be on this no-spend diet, I should be on somewhat of a diet in my other aspects of my life. And so I'm just feeling like it's time to really take care of myself so that I can be around longer for my sons and for my husband. And for my eventual daughter, whenever she decides to come and be with us. That's me and my wishful thinking. But anyways, so here are the die cuts. Aren't these precious? Oh my goodness. So I could totally use these in my Project Life albums, or my son's Project Life albums, or in my planners, and I am just smitten with all of this. And I have, oh, let me see here. Lost my train of thought. But anyways, it's because I'm concentrating on how pretty this stuff is. I mean, I kind of leafed through everything before, and I figured, oh my gosh, this kit is so loaded with stuff that I really need to make a video just to show you guys like what all is in this, because it's amazing. Oh, okay, that's what I wanted to share with you guys. So, the price for this is $14.99. I know, kind of pricey, right? For what, 130? This is a 130 piece kit. But I was able to use the 50% off coupon that they usually give you if you buy like a bunch of things, and then they say, oh, come back tomorrow and you can buy something that you might have forgot for 50% off. Yeah, that got me every time. But I remembered that I had one of those 50% off coupons, and so I got this kit for like $7. Score, right? Oh, look at this. The feather is so awesome, with like a mint and then a yellow. Oh, I die. Luck. And so, I just feel like this was a very good purchase. Anchors remind me of my mom. She happened to have an anchor charm in her stash, and she, I mentioned this a few times in my other videos, but she passed away it's coming up on 9 years now, and a lot of the things I do for her in memory of her. And a lot of the things that I find that I gravitate towards now remind me of her. The things, patterns that she liked, very whimsical, like floral patterns that I thought were just like, oh my gosh, totally old school. I just feel like it's come full circle in my mind because I'm just drawn to those things now. And yeah, I could just be sentimental and part of my grieving process or whatever. But, I've come to the point in my loss or in my grieving process to where when I think about her, I don't always get sad. I feel like when I think about her now, and when I talk about her now, it's just more of a personal relationship that I have with her. And I know that it's not necessarily a give and a take relationship anymore because she's physically not here. But I tell you what, when I look at my sons, and when I look, love, and when I look at them sometimes, I see my mom, and I see my grandma, my grandpa, all the people that have passed. And, yeah, great, right? And it's a beautiful thing. It really is. And it's hard to really put into words how you feel about someone until they have passed away. And so you hold on to certain things that remind you of them and bring that memory back, and so I might be going off on a really long tangent here, but it's one of the main reasons why I am now, accepting more of the memory keeping, or doing more of the memory keeping now. We didn't really have, I had a baby book growing up, but I didn't have anything nearly as intricate as what I'm doing right now for my boys. Only because, my mom was into that stuff, but they didn't really have stuff like this around, back in the day in the 80s. And so, now that they have all this great stuff available and to our, very readily available, it's almost like an obligation for me. Like, I feel like I need to have, to keep these memories alive while, I'm here and healthy for my boys and from, any future kids that my husband and I may have. And it's important for me to for my kids to have that. And so something to look back on and something to recall, because that's what I do a lot with little things that, is still at my house or my dad's house that reminds me of my mom and my grandparents. And so I hope that made sense to you guys, because I really just went on a tangent there. But you'll notice that a lot in my videos too. I like to go on tangents. But anyways, so let's go through another set here. This was called this is called the Good Times set. So Chalkboard. I like the black and white. Even though I like to keep things nice and bright, I also like the classic black and white. Tavian, my son, always asks me, Mommy, what is your favorite color? And I tell him, Tavian, my favorite color is white. And then it just reminds me again of my mom, because her favorite color was black. And who knows why necessarily her favorite color was black. Maybe because she felt like it was a slimming color, or, just went with everything. But I can tell you why my favorite color is white. And my favorite color is white because white is every color. Right? Isn't white like every color? Let me check on that. Anyways, white is every color in the spectrum, I believe. Please correct me if I am wrong. But anyways, and black is the absence of color, right? I could totally be wrong, but at this point, that's kind of the explanation between my favorite color being white. Is I love the concept of, it's not that I can't choose a color, but I like the concept of one color representing all the colors. And that's just me, you know. I look at something and I'm totally and completely in love. How pretty. I look at something and I try to see not everything that it means and everything that it ever will mean, but I look at something and I see its deeper meaning. I see beyond what is there in front of me. And that's why I've been journaling a lot lately too, because I feel like when you journal, you put your thoughts and your ideas onto paper, and then it just makes it that much more real. It makes it to where it is in the physical world, and you can reference back to it, and then you can think like, oh gosh, what was I thinking when I wrote that down? Together is our favorite place to be. And then you just recall, you think, oh, okay, yeah, that's what I was doing. That's why I thought that. And let me tell you what, I kept a journal for an independent study class when I was in college. And this was towards the end of my mom's life. And I swear that journal, I was asked to basically read Ronald Rolheiser's, he's a theologian, and someone that the dean of my college, who happened to be one of my teachers during that quarter, he was a good friend of hers, of my dean. And you make me happy. And she told me for this independent study class to read his articles and then to reflect on it and to keep a journal. And I tell you what, that journal was so life-saving for me. Just the practice of reading something and then writing down my thoughts, especially during the end of my mom's life, was really, honestly, what saved me mentally, emotionally, and physically. And I feel like if it wasn't for that journal and that practice of writing, it really would have been, my life would have turned out very differently. And I have been meaning to write my dean a thank you letter for that. It's been 9 years, but I feel like it's never too late to say thank you to the people who've made a really big impact on your life. And so that is something I'm going to be focusing on in the near future. But let's see here. So more of the 3x4s forever and ever. So I like how they have Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays and whatever on the back, because I'll be using this not only in, you know, the albums for my boys, but also in planning in general, in my different planners. And so what about you? What do you feel about loss in general? I know it's a super heavy subject, but we've all lost someone that we've loved. And we all deal with those feelings, and you know, the good feelings, the bad feelings, even the indifferent feelings. You know, there have been moments where I feel like, not that I forget that my mom's passed away, because you never forget something as deep as that, but you know, there are moments when you just feel indifferent towards it because it's like, oh gosh, you know, she's gone, but I know she's with me, and, you know, that kind of a thing. But I'd like to know how you guys feel about the whole subject. I know it's a very deep subject, but, you know, I feel like my channel is focused on just in general helping you to, you know, not only be more organized, but to know how you feel, because that is my process right now. I'm really trying to concentrate on myself and my thought processes, because it really is important to understand where you're coming from and how you are processing your information, because you know, you want to live a life that is very a life that you, oh gosh, what am I trying to say? A life lived on purpose. You know, I feel like when I had my first son, a lot of it was just automatic to me. Granted, it wasn't necessarily automatic because I didn't know what I was doing half the time, but I definitely wasn't in the moment. And I feel like a lot of us forget to be in the moment. And so I would like to know how you guys stay in the moment, whether it's yoga or journaling or, you know, taking pictures or whatever. I'd love to know how you guys stay in the moment, and then, you know, leave it out there in a comment so that others can see, so that, you know, who knows, maybe you can inspire someone to really turn their life into a more meaningful life. And, you know, obviously that's a very personal thing, that I would love to hear your suggestions. Like I said, I will be on a no spend, and part of this no spend is to concentrate, of course, on the things I already have, to be happy with the things that I already have, and then to create beautiful things from the things that I already have. So also let me know that. I'd like to know how you guys repurpose things, how you feel about throwing things away or discarding things, and what your thought process is with that. I am very much a pack rat at heart. My grandma was too, and, you know, my dad is to a certain degree. And so I would like to know how you declutter, and things that you keep, why you keep them, and then, you know, hopefully it'll inspire me to keep clutter at bay in my house. But anyways, oh, and speaking of houses, you're probably going to see this a lot in my videos too, but we are looking for you know, our forever home, and so I'll keep you guys in the loop about that. Right now we live in a townhome, which is great. You know, I bought a townhome a few years ago, back in 2009, but, you know, with 2 boys and they're growing and all that great and blessed stuff, you know, it's getting cramped. So we're looking for a single family home with a yard and all that, and we're looking at different builders, and it is such a process, to the point where I want to make stickers that reflect the process. So I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud here at this point. But that was a flip through of both the Good Times box, or Project Life, box as well as the Trinkets box, both by Becky Higgins. If you have any questions about any of the cards or anything I even said, do not hesitate to ask. Other than that, you all have a beautiful and blessed week. Bye-bye.